Have you ever spoken English, felt like you knew the words, the grammar, but something was off? That subtle barrier, that feeling of not quite connecting, of your brilliant thoughts getting lost in translation, not because of your vocabulary, but because of the sounds themselves. It's a common frustration, a near universal hurdle for so many English learners around the globe. You spend hours, weeks, years mastering the language, only to feel that your pronunciation holds you back from true fluency, from that effortless, clear communication you crave. But what if I told you there's a pathway, a clear, achievable method to overcome this? What if the ability to master native-like English pronunciation today wasn't a far-off dream, but a tangible reality within your grasp starting now? Imagine a guide, a conceptual companion on this journey. Let's call him the breakthrough master. He's not physically here, but picture him, an encouraging presence, ready to illuminate the path, to show you not just what to do, but how to understand and feel the sounds of English. We're about to embark on a journey that will reshape your understanding of pronunciation. And it all begins with embracing the possibility that you can achieve this. Let's be honest, the journey to clear pronunciation can feel like navigating a dense fog. You hear native speakers, their words flowing like music, and you try to emulate them, but the echo in your own voice sounds different. Perhaps you felt that sting of being misunderstood or the hesitation before speaking, worried that your accent might obscure your message. This is the initial challenge, the mountain every learner perceives. I remember a student, let's call her Priya from Mumbai, incredibly intelligent with a vast English vocabulary. Yet she'd speak in meetings and see that flicker of confusion in her colleagues' eyes. She told me, it's like there's a glass wall between my brain and their ears. That frustration is real, and it's often the starting point, but it's also the catalyst for seeking a new way. This is where our conceptual breakthrough master steps in, not with a magic wand, but with a torch to light up the path. He'd first encourage you to just listen, truly listen, not just to words, but to the music behind them. This brings us to our very first powerful technique, something I call the echo technique, auditory immersion and shadowing. It's about training your ear before you even train your mouth. Imagine the breakthrough master cupping his hand to his ear, urging you to lean in, to absorb every nuance. This isn't passive listening while you scroll on your phone. This is active, focused immersion. Think of it like this. You want to paint a masterpiece, so you first spend hours, days in a gallery, not just glancing at paintings, but studying the brushstrokes, the color blends, the way light is captured. It's the same with sound. I want you to find a short audio clip of a native speaker whose accent you admire. Maybe it's from a podcast, a movie, an audiobook, just a minute or two, and listen to it again and again. The breakthrough master might visually trace the sound waves in the air, showing how they rise and fall, the peaks and valleys of speech. He'd show the rhythm, the melody, after you've listened, say 10, 15 times, until the sounds are almost imprinted in your mind. Then comes the shadowing. This is where you speak along with the recording, trying to match the speaker's pace, rhythm, and intonation as closely as possible, like a shadow. Don't worry about perfection at first. It will feel awkward. Your tongue might stumble. Your timing might be off. And this is perfectly normal. Priya, when she first tried this, said she felt like a toddler babbling. But the breakthrough master would be there conceptually with an encouraging nod, perhaps showing a visual of a smaller echo gradually matching a larger, clearer sound. He'd remind you that even the most accomplished musicians start with clumsy scales. The key is repetition and focused attention. You're not just mimicking sounds. You're training your brain and your muscles to recognize and reproduce new patterns. Describe the setting to yourself. Maybe you're in a quiet room, headphones on, just you and the voice. Feel the initial awkwardness, then that tiny spark when one phrase, just one, sounds closer than before. That's the first glimmer of the aha moment. For Priya, it was a simple phrase, see you later. She'd always said it with a flatter intonation. After shadowing, she caught the slight lift on latte, and it was a revelation. It's these small victories that build momentum. The breakthrough. Master would celebrate this, perhaps with a conceptual spark of light, signifying understanding. This technique is foundational. It tunes your ear to the subtle music of English, laying the groundwork for everything else we're going to explore to help you master native-like English pronunciation today. Now, once your ear is becoming more attuned, we need to address the physical production of sound. This leads us to our second technique, the Sculptor's approach, mouth mechanics and articulation awareness. Many learners understand grammar and vocabulary perfectly, but they've never been explicitly taught how to shape their mouths, position their tongues, or use their breath to create specific English sounds, especially those that don't exist in their native language. Think of your mouth, tongue, and lips as the sculptor's tools. The breakthrough master might now appear conceptually beside you, perhaps holding a translucent model of a human head. He wouldn't be clinical, but rather like an artist explaining his craft. He'd point to the tongue, showing how it needs to touch the ridge behind your teeth for a T or D sound, or how it pulls back for an R. He'd show how the lips round for an oo sound, or spread for an E sound. Let's take the infamous th sound, the one that trips up so many. For speakers of languages without this sound, it's a real hurdle. You might substitute it with a T or D, S, or Z. The breakthrough master in our conceptual visualization would gently guide your attention. He'd show, perhaps with an exaggerated slow motion animation, the tip of the tongue peeking just between the teeth and air flowing gently over it. He'd encourage you to look in a mirror. Yes, a mirror is your best friend here. Watch your mouth as you try to make these sounds. Feel the vibrations. Is your tongue in the right place? Are your lips shaped correctly? This isn't about dry academic phonetics. It's about a physical, tactile understanding. Imagine trying to learn a new dance move just by reading about it. Impossible, right? You need to see it, then feel your own body making the shapes. It's the same with pronunciation. Consider a learner like Marco from Italy. His English was fluent, but H sounds often disappeared, so house became ouse and happy became appy. And his sounds were usually D's. When he started focusing on the sculptor's approach using a mirror, he described it as discovering muscles I never knew I had. He'd practice the thief by holding a finger in front of his lips, feeling the gentle breath that should accompany the sound, contrasting it with the more explosive puff of air for a T. The breakthrough master would be there conceptually, not judging, but demonstrating, perhaps with a slow motion visual of airflow or a simple diagram showing the point of articulation. The aha moment for Marco came when he finally nailed 3,000 trees. He actually laughed out loud, a laugh of pure triumph. That's the joy of this journey. It's about those tangible breakthroughs when a sound that once felt alien suddenly feels natural. You are literally sculpting new habits, new muscle memories. This focused attention on the mechanics, this willingness to explore the physicality of speech is another crucial step to help you master native-like English pronunciation today. Once we've started to tune our ears with the echo technique and understand the physical production of sounds with the sculptor's approach, we need to weave these elements together into the natural flow of speech. This brings us to our third vital technique, the musicality method, rhythm and melody mastery. English, like any language, has its own unique music. It's not just about pronouncing individual sounds correctly, it's about how those sounds connect. The stress patterns within words, the intonation across sentences, the pauses, the flow. If you get the individual notes right but play them with the wrong rhythm or melody, the tune will still be off. The breakthrough master might now transform into a conceptual conductor, his hands not just tracing sound waves, but orchestrating the flow of a sentence. He'd show you where the emphasis falls, how some syllables are louder and longer, while others are softer and quicker. Think about the word photograph. Many learners might pronounce it photograph with even stress, but a native speaker says photograph with the stress on the first syllable. Now think of photography. It is. They did stress shifts, photography, and photographic. Photographic is like a dance. The breakthrough master could illustrate this with visual pulses of light on the stressed syllables, making it instantly clear where the energy of the word lies. This isn't just about individual words, it's about entire phrases and sentences. Consider the difference in meaning conveyed by intonation. She's coming? rising intonation, a question, versus she's coming, falling intonation, a statement, the same words, different melody, completely different meaning, the breakthrough. Master might show these as two different paths, one going up, one going down, to make the concept instantly comprehensible. I had a student, Kenji from Japan, whose individual sounds were quite good, but his speech often sounded very flat, very monotone to English ears. This made him sound unintentionally a bit disengaged or even uninterested. When we introduced the musicality method, he started by listening to short dialogues and tapping out the rhythm like a drummer. He'd mark scripts with arrows for rising and falling intonation. The breakthrough master conceptually could be seen highlighting these sentence contours, like a flowing river, showing how the tune of the sentence carries the meaning. Kenji described his ha moment when he was practicing ordering coffee. Instead of a flat "can I have a coffee please," he practiced "can I have a coffee please?" with a slight rise and then a fall, a more natural, engaging melody. The barista smiled and responded more warmly than usual. He said it was like I suddenly spoke their language, even though the words were the same. He felt a connection he hadn't before. This is the power of understanding that English has a beat, a rhythm, a melody. It makes your speech more engaging, easier to understand, and far more natural. Embracing this musicality is absolutely key if you truly want to master native-like English pronunciation today. We've talked about listening, about the mechanics of your mouth, about the music of the language. But there's one more crucial element, perhaps the most challenging for many, and that's the internal aspect. This leads us to our fourth technique, the confidence catalyst, mindset and fearless practice. You can understand all the theories. You can know how to make every sound perfectly in isolation. But if you're paralyzed by the fear of making mistakes, if you lack the confidence to actually use what you're learning in real conversations, then progress will stall. The fear of sounding silly, of being judged, of not being understood, these are powerful emotional barriers. Here, the breakthrough master transforms into the most empathetic coach imaginable. He's not there to criticize, but to build you up, to remind you that every single person learning a new skill makes mistakes. It's part of the process. Imagine you're about to speak in a group. Your heart rate quickens. You rehearse the sentence in your head, but then fear whispers, "What if I mispronounce that word?" They laugh. They won't understand. The breakthrough master would conceptually place a gentle hand on your shoulder, offering reassurance. He might show a visual of a wall representing this fear, and then hand you a conceptual hammer, not to smash it aggressively, but to gently dismantle it brick by brick. One of the most effective ways to do this is to create low-stakes speaking opportunities. This could be with a language partner, a patient friend, or even just talking to yourself. Record yourself speaking, not to judge harshly, but to become accustomed to the sound of your own voice speaking English. Celebrate small successes. Did you use the new sound correctly? Did you try a new intonation pattern? Acknowledge it. Let's think about Sofia from Brazil. She had a vibrant personality, but in English, she became quiet and reserved. Her fear of making pronunciation errors was immense. The breakthrough master would encourage her to start small. Perhaps first just ordering a drink, then asking for directions, then engaging in a short, casual conversation. He'd remind her that the goal of communication is connection, not perfection. Her aha moment wasn't about a specific sound. It was when she shared a joke in English during a casual chat with an international group, and everyone laughed. With her, not at her. She said, "I felt my shoulders drop. I realized they weren't dissecting my accent. They were enjoying my company." That realization, that shift in mindset was her confidence catalyst. It unlocked her fluency. She started speaking more, practicing more, and naturally her pronunciation improved because she was using it. The breakthrough master would be there, conceptually beaming as his barrier crumbled. You need to cultivate a mindset of curiosity and courage. Be kind to yourself. Embrace imperfection and as a stepping stone. This fearless practice, this belief in your ability to improve and connect is the final, essential ingredient to master native-like English pronunciation today. So, we have these 4 powerful approaches: the echo technique for auditory immersion, the Sculptor's approach for articulation awareness, the Musicality method for rhythm and intonation, and the confidence catalyst for fearless practice. But how do these translate into real-world application, into those diverse global settings where you want your voice to be heard clearly and confidently? Imagine Priya from our earlier story, now leading a virtual meeting with her international team. She's practiced shadowing, she's worked on her mouth mechanics for specific English sounds, she's paid attention to the melody of her sentences, and crucially, she's built her confidence. She delivers her presentation. Her points are clear, not just because her slides are good, but because her spoken English is articulate and engaging. There's no flicker of confusion in her colleagues' eyes now, only nods of understanding and engagement. She's not thinking about individual sounds, she's focused on her message, and her improved pronunciation carries it effortlessly. This is practical application. The breakthrough master might be seen conceptually in the background, giving a subtle thumbs up, a quiet acknowledgement of her transformation. Or think of Marco, who struggled with H and th sounds. He's now backpacking through Southeast Asia, easily striking up conversations with fellow travelers from Australia, Canada, the UK, and the US. He's ordering food in bustling markets, sharing stories in hostels, navigating new cities, all with a newfound clarity and ease. He's not just understood, he's connecting with people on a deeper level because his communication is more fluid, more natural. He's experiencing the joy of spontaneous conversation without the constant shadow of pronunciation anxiety. The breakthrough master could be visualized here as a subtle supportive presence, perhaps highlighting the bridges of understanding being built through clear speech in these diverse settings. And Kenji, who learned to bring musicality to his speech. He's now giving a toast at a friend's wedding in New York. His words flow with warmth and appropriate emphasis, conveying his heartfelt emotions authentically. People are moved, not just by what he says, but how he says it. He feels the connection with his audience, a connection that was previously hampered by a flatter delivery. This is the real-world impact. It's about being able to express your full self, your intelligence, your humor, your warmth in English without the barrier of unclear pronunciation. It's about stepping into global conversations, whether for work, travel, or personal connection, and feeling truly heard and understood. Each of these learners took the concepts, the techniques, and applied them. They faced their initial frustrations. They had their aha moments, and they experienced a genuine transformation, not just in their speech, but in their confidence and their ability to connect. This is the tangible outcome of committing to this journey, the breakthrough moments we've talked about. Priya's clarity in meetings, Marco's effortless travel conversations, Kenji's engaging toast. These aren't isolated incidents. They are the natural result of dedicated practice and applying these comprehensible strategies. The transformation is profound. It's the shift from feeling hesitant and misunderstood to feeling confident and clear. It's the moment when you stop translating in your head and start thinking and feeling in English, expressing your thoughts with the nuance and clarity they deserve. Imagine that feeling. The freedom to speak your mind, to share your ideas, to connect with people from all walks of life without that nagging worry about your pronunciation. This is more than just learning. A skill. It's unlocking a new level of interaction with the world. The emotional journey is significant. Now, there's the initial frustration, perhaps even embarrassment, when you feel your accent is a barrier. Then comes the spark of hope when you discover that, yes, there are concrete methods to improve. As you begin to practice, there might be moments of awkwardness, even struggle. As you try to form new sounds or adopt new rhythms, this is the navigating obstacles phase. But then, those glorious ha moments start to happen. A difficult sound suddenly clicks. A sentence flows naturally. Someone comments positively on your clarity. These are the turning points. And finally, you reach a stage of empowered application where you're using your improved pronunciation in real-world situations, feeling the transformation, not just in how you speak, but in how you're perceived and how you feel about yourself. It's a journey from self-consciousness to self-assurance. The breakthrough master, our conceptual guide, would be there every step of the way. celebrating each milestone, his expression shifting from encouragement during the tough parts to shared joy at your success. This transformation isn't just about sounding more native-like. It's about becoming a more effective, more confident communicator on the global stage. So as we draw to a close, let's revisit our core promise. We set out with the ambitious goal to help you master native-like English pronunciation today. And while today signifies the beginning of a dedicated journey rather than an instant fix, the path to that mastery is clearer now than ever before. It's not about innate talent or spending years in an English-speaking country. It's about understanding the process, applying effective techniques, and embracing the journey with patience and persistence. We've explored the echo technique, immersing yourself in sound and shadowing native speakers. We've delved into the Sculptor's approach, understanding the mechanics of your mouth. We've embraced the Musicality method, learning the rhythm and melody of English. And we've ignited the confidence catalyst, encouraging fearless practice and a positive mindset. These aren't just abstract theories. They are practical, actionable steps you can begin to implement right now. The big why behind this endeavor, the reason it matters so much, is that clear pronunciation is the key to unlocking your full potential in English. It's about ensuring your voice, your ideas, your unique perspective are heard and understood without impediment. It's about fostering deeper connections, achieving your professional goals, and navigating the world with greater confidence. Imagine our conceptual breakthrough master now nodding with a sense of accomplishment, not for himself, but for you, the learner, who is now equipped with the knowledge and the inspiration to take these steps. The journey to master native-like English pronunciation is within your reach. It begins with a decision to start, the commitment to practice, and the belief in your own ability to transform your speech. The power to change how you communicate and ultimately how you connect with the world truly does begin today. Thank you.